Hey, hi, Mr. Ghanshyam and Ms. Ranjini. May I know from which institutes or organizations you're from? Yeah, it would be great if you can unmute and yeah, thanks. You're from Amrita. Hello, Professor Rajashri Nair. How are you?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Please call me Amit.
I am good.
Thank you. Great. And you're from which institute, ma'am?
Amrita.
Acha, Amrita Business School.
Yeah.
We'll wait for a couple of minutes and we'll quickly get started. Hi, Aishwarya. How are you? Hi, Sujata. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I can see some of my faculties from Amrita joining. Just wondering.
Yeah, I was just trying to interact with them.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm all fine. So how do you want us to start?
Probably, you had planned the golden deck. So I think we can drive them through the golden deck and then quickly get into the financial part of it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Ram sir, how are you?
Fine, sir. Fine.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Anushri ma'am, Jyotshree, Bhagyashri, how are you all?
Very well,
Yes,
sir. Thank
sir.
you for
Fine.
asking.
Fine.
I am new to, I think, some of the professors.
I know that. A lot of them are, I got an opportunity to meet most of them because of the FOPs that's been
Yes,
continuously
yes.
organized.
Right.
Currently, we are in batch 5 of the FOP, so a lot
Correct.
of them had been through.
Shivani ma'am, how are you? Hi. Can't hear you. It looks like you're calling from a distance.
In fact, Amit, before starting, we would like to hear a quick introduction about you as well, okay? Sujata here.
Yeah. So
We'll
Sujata, we can start with you.
once, we reach about 25 odd people. I'm sure they're all joining. Most
Yeah,
of them.
we'll wait till 6:05 and then we can start.
Yeah.
Maybe you can start with the introduction.
Hi Sujata, hi
Hi,
Amit.
Shivani. I'm good. Thanks for joining.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, very well.
Thanks.
We have Somnath sir. We have Jigar. How are you, Jigar? Then we have Archana madam.
Yeah,
Then
Makaran sir also. Hi, Makaran sir. How are you?
Makaran sir, I met him.
Hello,
Uh,
how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Fine,
Good to see
after
you.
a long time.
Yes.
I can see Vishnu Vandana ma'am. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, sir.
Umeshwar sir has joined.
Homeshwar sir, how are you? We'll meet very soon.
Absolutely fine. Good evening, dear Amit and Sweta ma'am.
How are you, sir? Good to see you all.
Absolutely fine.
Faraz is here. Hi, Faraz. How are you? So big.
Hi.
Yes.
Professor Faraz, great. How are you?
I'm fine. Actually, I'm just reaching my home. So
We
I've joined.
understand.
Drive safely, please. Yeah.
We understand that, most of you must be traveling and, all that. Thanks for joining.
It's my pleasure.
Sujata ma'am, we have 26 overall
think-
participants, including you and me. So let's get started at 6:04.
Yes, I think it will take definitely 90 minutes on from now, right? Okay. So I extend a warm welcome to all my faculty colleagues here. Thanks for joining. We have planned this session for the benefit of building a perfect milestone deck for our students. And we did not want to stop this opportunity only with building a milestone deck, but one step more, a deck is complete by understanding the financial feasibility of any business. So the objective of today's session will aim to gain better understanding on milestone deck preparation using the golden standard deck that we had now, created, and we have actually put that as part of the platform to facilitate you as well as your student to prepare a wonderful investor ready pitch deck. And the second objective that we are trying to achieve today is to deep dive into the concepts of week 9 and 12, which actually tries to discuss about financial feasibility and unit economics using financial planning Excel sheets. So today is more like a hands-on working session that we would be trying to organize for all of you here. I'm sure that, most of us are familiar with the 14-week structured, you know, Ignite program. So I'm not going to get into any of that, but I take this, opportunity to introduce my colleague here who has been very kind to, help all of us understand this financial planning sheets. Thanks, Amit, for joining us. I was just going through your LinkedIn profile when I thought I should introduce you in a better way. And few things that caught my attention, Amit, was, you write and you try to describe yourself as an entrepreneurial thought leader with a goal setting approach. And I'm really happy, and we have all seen you like that. Amit is there with us for about now almost 5.5 years or 6 years with the Vadhwani Foundation. Amit is our regional manager, but I always call him as a faculty because he'd been spearheading a lot of batches, of the incubators, and a lot of entrepreneurs are fond of him, which we know. He had also been a founder of a startup, which is very important to be, said here, because a lot of us here feel that, hey, how can I teach entrepreneurship because I've not done a startup? Amit, this is so true. All the faculty friends here will have this in their mind.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
But I'm very
The
sure
Bhuveshwar
that
sir and then Shivani
Yeah.
ma'am, some of them I know,
Some of
they've
them-
been entrepreneurs.
yes,
They know it.
lot of them are in the process of making, because now the new innovation policy, which is gone through the colleges, have, given the scope that teachers can also have 9% of stake, and they can also participate in a startup venture. So I think, Amit here is an entrepreneur by himself. And, initially he has been a director academics and corporate relations for PT Education. He'd been part of Times Academy, and he has done a lot of freelance assignments. And of course, we know that he runs a lot of masterclass and sessions. So Amit, thank you so much. I hand over the session to you. And today we want to see the avatar of faculty Amit here. Okay, thank you so much.
Come on.
Yes.
Thank you. I would love to do whatever within my capacity. But Sujata ma'am, thank you so much. I think for making my profile so impressive, the way it came out to you, it's for the first time, trust me. So thank you. And also it's very hard to actually tell or take a particular session for faculty members. I feel all of them are so senior, and so I think it will be a learning for me, not a facilitation or anything, with some caveats, of course, for our mutual benefits, Vadhwani Foundations and the professors here, that we'll talk about. So building on what Sujata just discussed, we are doing this session of course, so that each of us can be completely in sync with what we are doing. More importantly, we have been seeing that in the pitches, whether these are investor pitches or at least jury pitches, right, they really sometimes don't go well, because all the judges, I think some of you are also there on the judging panel, you question about the value of the product itself, the value of the team itself, the value of then when you look at the finance, it's all haywired, and that leads to some 2 marks, 3 marks, something like that, which we don't want. It feels that a lot of efforts each of us present here does, and we definitely need to achieve those outcomes, right, very, very closely. So this is with a mission and with a goal that we want to achieve at the end, so that whatever few sessions that we are left with for our students, budding students, entrepreneur students, that their milestone 4 presentation, which is essentially a pitch deck, should be really of gold standard. It should contain all the important slides, critical slides, and with correct information and data, right? So if I look at the entire milestone presentation, I'm sure all of you are aware, even if not, there are 3 important areas, right? Others are also definitely, but 3 we will have to definitely align. The first and foremost is, of course, this big market size, right? Those numbers should really get right. Simply putting $225 billion market doesn't make sense. Where is this number coming from? What is the data? How have you evaluated? I think those things are really, we need to actually understand. So with the mentor app deck, which I'm going to present, and maybe one or two examples, or if somebody has some other example, we'll talk about that, right? So get that particular thing right, and we have to align that last number of SOM, which is serviceable obtainable market, with our financial sheet, maybe for 1 year, maybe for 5 years or 6 years, so that if somebody can look that financial sheet, that entire funding plan can instill confidence in that investors, that this venture is really great. That's one. The second important thing is the product itself. If there is no product, if there is no right product, there is no business. It's all just in air. It's just a business concept, right? So we have very often seen that the entire deck looks very good, but when it comes to MVP or product slide, there are some sentences and something people put in, some pricing strategy which doesn't make any sense. What essentially we are looking for is each of us can guide some of the tools to all our students, right, which can come, very handy. So one such platform is, Wix site. I'm very fond of that. You can really, sign it up and it doesn't ask for any money, right? In 15-20 minutes, you can create a working, a website which will have booking options, which will have product showcasing options. You can put a pricing. In fact, it enables you to go to that section wherein you can actually buy a particular product, put it in the cart, and then come out. So once someone has done that, and you may require 15 minutes to 1 hour, all your students, it's very easy. They can paste those photographs, they can paste the actual link that actually shows that they have really done some real authentic work. And at student level, this is at best maybe at the beginning we can expect. But if there are students who are really ahead of this and they're really doing much better, we will definitely encourage, and we should encourage that they can take it forward and put all the working products. So 1 or 2 slides on that working product or MVP is a must. The third and the last one is all the financials should be right? What Sujata madam was actually mentioning, right? So right from the startup cost till the time they make that last money, and it should incorporate each and everything. If there is a price that has been set, the price should really be right. It should not be something, because math will do its magic of giving you everything right as long as Excel sheet is there, but that logic should be right. I'll share one funny thing. Some of the decks I've seen where it looks so beautiful, and when you look at the balance sheet, it is minus 15 lakh is equal to minus 15 lakh. So assets is equal to liabilities. Both of them are negative. How strange it is, The entire cash flow from the beginning is negative. So in January month, it is minus 2 lakh rupees. When I don't have money, how can I even, think of starting a venture? So it's not about math. It's about, that story, that logic that should actually go right. Okay. And some people make a gross profit of 2%. I don't know how they will make money and they will survive. Their EBITDA will always be negative. At some financial sheet, I've seen minus 200% EBITDA or net profit at the beginning. This is too scary. So which means that I think something is going wrong, probably, in the sense that some ventures are not able to understand or assimilate this finance properly. And it is an art. Math is just a tool here. It's all an art. So I think I am more here to learn from each of you. Let me just start my presentation here quickly. I think that will save a lot of time. Yes, I'm sure all of you have this and you would have gone through, and with some of you with whom I actually work, we have already discussed this. And at some of the institutes I'm personally visiting also, and my other colleagues also. So we'll discuss. So how should a good pitch look like? A good pitch should have 15-20 slides, not more than that. Okay. It should be very well articulate. It should explain each and every detail. It should have some important parameters, starting from what the problem is, what the solution is, right? What kind of research have we actually done to arrive at that problem, ensuring that the problem is really a must-have problem or a must-have solution, ensuring that the questions that are asked in the survey or interviews are really correct and are aligned with that particular startup or venture or idea, right? Then coming, how large is the market and how meaningful is the market? That is really very important. Right. Then it's all about, the product team taking it ahead, understanding it, and making the product. And it starts from knowing your customer. So first and foremost stage is, let us personify some of our customers. Let us create some hypothetical images. Let us understand what they actually do, what they look like, what are their goals, what are their frustrations. Okay. And we can present in this manner. So this template is really helpful. And based on that, we create a value proposition. Okay, essentially what value the entrepreneur or the venture is actually, trying to give, how they're creating a product which is solving the actual problem, how are the pains that are getting reduced, and what are the delight factors. Okay, and this happens through value proposition canvas. The next one is which is very important, is, you should also present something called a one-liner solution. At least somebody read should understand what the solution is. Okay, then it's all about business model. Now, what we're using is a lean canvas or a business model canvas, primarily lean canvas for all our startups, right? It contains 9 boxes, which explains everything, very clearly. But what is the outcome of this lean canvas? The outcome of this lean canvas is to tell you that how is the business functioning, how is the money going to flow into the organization, and whether this is a robust business, right? That is the idea. So therefore the venture should be able to explain that part using this. That is very important. And then coming to the competition, one of the classic mistakes we've seen, that they compare their product or venture with the existing, competitors, direct, indirect, right? And when it comes to market review, they give themselves a complete, yes or a green or 5-star. When it comes to pricing, they unnecessarily reduce the price, and it doesn't make actually sense. So there they have to be realistic. If they're saying out of 5 parameters, 3 parameters are really good and they're ahead, let them do that. And 2 parameters could be common or they're not working, that's fine, right? So I think that is something that each of us here is trying to, achieve, right? Then, of course, once we have done them, then this is the product or an MVP, minimum viable product, right? Whatever we say in the first few slides of a problem solution, slides, we should be able to communicate. Okay, if you're talking about 2 to 3 features through which it is solved, at least those should be actually built. Okay, their wireframe should be ready. Their website, if the Wix website, allows us to do that, we can take a screenshot. Okay, and more than that, we should also have their link added so that, a judge can actually click and see that, right? And if you have more than 1 slide, that's fine. I mean, sometimes you cannot compact the information in 1 slide. That's well and good. What next? It's all about validation, right? They should check with at least a few prospective clients whom they interviewed earlier. Just pick up phone and call them up, do a Zoom call, collect some information, ask relevant information whether this is good enough to go ahead with, what are their thoughts, right? That's very important. And then they can articulate it in this manner. So present a validation. And then comes, of course, the finance, which includes, 5 to 6 important things in the same order. The first one is startup cost. How much money they start with, where is the money coming from, and where is the money going to be invested. Okay. Then it's all about the health of the business, which is, profit and loss statement, right? Next is cash flow, which is all connected to the profit and loss statement. Then it's all about balance sheet and break even, at what point in time, they will achieve no loss, no profit situation, how many units they're going to sell, all that. And then, of course, right, what is the contribution of that one customer, making a sale for you, and what is that person's, that the customers or that unit's contribution, right? That is where unit economics plays a very important role, because with these values, if we multiply, we can take a bigger value, simply multiply it, we can actually say that the business is really doing or not. Okay, so therefore this is very important. And this time what we have done is, Sujata, we have included these definitions also, so it will be easier for for students, right? Some of the assumptions also we have taken, that also, they should include. Then it's all about the sales. At least they should be in a position to present 1 year sale, the first year, right, Jan to December maybe. And then the entire plan, how they capture their customers, get the customers. Then the next 2-3 slides will be all about, marketing and sales, which will include the branding, logo, how they're reaching out to customers, what are the channels that they're using, and what is the positioning statement. So there is a format to the positioning statement also, which is clear here. Okay, and this is the 5-year funding plan. The objective of putting this 5-year funding plan is essentially how the startup is going to make money over the next 5 years, right? From an earning, for example, which is 82 lakh here, how they're scaling it to 3 crores. And if somebody looks at this, will say that yes, right, the startup is this could be an interesting startup, and there is an interest. Okay, that's the whole objective. Okay, next, maybe how much money you're going to give it to, or equity you're going to give it to the investor. So this is just an additional slide, right? If you want to include it, but this was really a very important slide. And who are the people behind this, right? That's very important. So here, one of the things is people they present. So CEO says, I have good leadership scale, I have this, which is good. Please back all that qualities and information that you're presenting through what you have done in the past. So let's say you say that this was your idea, you led a team in the past, right? Look at the CTO. The CTO has a lot of coding skills, right? Problem solving skills, that's fine, but what has she done? Okay, so here it says she has 2 apps to her credit. Similarly, chief marketing officer, right? So present that real scenarios, right, that will be helpful for them to show that the team composition is really good. Okay, let's take an assumption that all the team members have the qualities of CTO, and none of them has a quality of CEO. That's not a good team, and that's where out of 5 the jury is going to give less score. So I think those are critical things. So I think I quickly ran through this entire thing, and I took an assumption that we know about Mentor app. Now I will touch upon some of the important areas and the finances. It is 6:24. Okay. So far so good. Any comment?
No, sir. No.
Thank you. Everybody.
And this is how I felt the team composition, that's the part 1 of our Ignite and advanced programs. I think that should be more importantly discussed, and I think
Yeah.
now I
we'll
know
discuss.
where
We'll discuss,
this
yeah.
focus should be. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. We'll discuss it. Right. So first is, of course, the logo slide, which is important, right? Ensure that they should have a logo slide. They should also mention their, institute, which course they are, right? So that they can mention their PV IDs and all, because that's important also. Okay, but essentially their logo should, talk about what they're doing. This is a very important slide, because all the slides are, by the way, important, but I'm just saying what are the critical areas where there are fundamental mistakes. First one is who we are. So who we are essentially talks about 3 things. One is why, second one is what and how. So why means why Mentor app came. Mentor app came because entrepreneurs, around the globe, they needed mentors, and mentors needed entrepreneurs. Perhaps they don't have a common place. They just need to find each other. Therefore, there is the stress on find. So that why, that reason is important. What is actually the solution? What Mentor app does? And very nicely, it should be articulated. Mentor app is an AI-powered Tinder-like tool. So use company names, use words which are very common for people to understand. So Tinder has this swipe right, swipe left kind of features. And those of you dated here would probably be knowing. That connects the mentors and entrepreneurs globally. Now, Mentor app is vibrant tech environment that brings in the best elements of entrepreneurial ecosystem, right, which is satisfying and remunerative. So also talk about some of the benefits, how this is. So with Mentor app, there is a remuneration model which is there, and that is actually attractive for somebody to be, for a mentor to be onboarded, right? So that is the solution part which should come. So what is essentially the solution? How this actually happens? So this has got some proprietary ML techniques, machine learning techniques, some deep mining they're using. It's a subscription based model, right? So subscription is a very understanding thing for many of them. And then in detail, the subsequent slides we'll talk about. Now reading this slide will help the reader to actually understand, make up that frame of mind, what is going to come next. Okay, and it should be really very beautifully presented. That's very important. Then this is a little busy slide. You can make it less busy and with data and facts, that's fine. But yes, of course, the context of the problem and exactly that problem should be mentioned. Okay, so what is the problem actually? Problem should be presented in a manner of problem and not in the manner of solution, right? So there is this template that we have actually given, not template, a framework, right? It's a canvas which everybody can use and can present. So here it, can I request somebody, I think unmuted, go on mute, please.
Colonel Rane, please mute yourself.
I don't have this control otherwise.
Amit,
Thank
I've
you.
made you host. You have the control. You can.
I can do that?
Yeah, I have made you host. Yeah.
Acha, theek hai. Thank you. Right. So this is a very important slide. One very important thing, maybe I just forgot during my entire thing what I was saying. Please ensure that readability, grammar, everything should be correct. At least the basic grammar should be correct. We are not expecting Shakespearean English. Of course, it's an archaic English, but at least basic grammar should be correct. Spelling mistakes should not be there. Right. Use standard English spelling mistakes. If there are capitalizations, if you're using somewhere, try to follow that. So those are very important. Okay. So this particular slide we should definitely have. If not this, then at least this. Right. Now, what is very important also in this slide? Where is this problem coming from? Right? Is there a data which is backing this problem? That should be inserted. Okay. So we should always encourage them to put a source link. Right? If they're saying that 60% of people in India are diabetic patient, why are they saying? Where is this data coming from? Present it. Maybe they are going to make, they're making some, invasive, non-invasive glucometer kind of, device, right? But they should present that data. The next one is, let us now validate this. Let us do a primary, research, primary validation. Let us talk to some people, right? Who could be our prospective customers? So present their demographics, right? Between that age. Now here, when we are saying 18 to 45, it also indicates that these 18 to 45 would be our customers for Mentor app. Okay. How did you conduct the interview? What were the general responses? Right. Present some responses in a storytelling, format also. So look at that. Most of them said, I struggle to get the right mentor. Fellow entrepreneurs also face similar struggle, something like that. And then present in a graphical manner whether this is a must-have solution or a good to have, and how many of them are saying must-have solution. There are no hard and fast rules. I think if it is 60, 65, 70% plus, this is a good problem. One important thing here is we should encourage that the sample size should be really good, right? At least try to have 25 to 30 if these are individual customers. For a B2B kind of organization, go ahead and do 2 to 3. Go and talk to them, right? So that is very important. So in Mentor app case, of course, entrepreneurs and mentors, these are the two categories whom we have to interview and matchmake. So we will have to present their data. Similar is the case with mentors. Entrepreneurs interviewed are 100 and mentors interviewed are 50. And present that survey link so that if somebody can click and see, oh, you have email IDs, you have names of people and phone number and likewise. Otherwise, then it's just a dummy kind of data. Yes, moving on to the next one. So hope this problem part is very clear to everybody. The next part is all about this TAM, SAM, SOM, market size, right? So let us analyze this, right? So we are matchmaking entrepreneurs and mentors. Let us see where these entrepreneurs are present, because if we have to work in India, we need to understand how many total entrepreneurs are there. So let us start. So Indian population is some 1 crore 38 no 138 crores, and people in between the age group of 18 to 64 is 741 million, right? So that data we can definitely Google and put it. Okay, out of which 37 million, which is 6%, they're actually entrepreneurs. And these will include self-employed people, pan thelas, eateries, Ratan Tatas of India, and we will include all those. And not everybody is our customer. Okay, mentor app, these people are not going to buy, right? So then we will have to figure out who are the people who are going to buy. So maybe because our approach, our channel is LinkedIn, people who are there on LinkedIn, all the new startups, and we take this data as 6 million people who are there who could be our prospective customers. So what does the 6 million indicate for me? If 6 million entrepreneurs are paying right, let's say 10,000 rupees for a subscription model per month, I'm going to make a huge money. That is the whole idea of this. So any investor is going to do this kind of calculation. This is on an individual basis. What if these 6 million entrepreneurs, so let's say 2 entrepreneurs are making one company. Let's assume that. So we will have at least 3 million startups. So 3 million multiplied by 10 crore, 10,000, such a huge amount. So that kind of data is more meaningful. And whatever I just said, we should articulate, somewhere. We should present an explanation. Okay, so that was the entrepreneur part, and similarly the mentors. So one of the assumptions, which is right also, that mentors are really seasoned people. They would have been entrepreneurs themselves. Okay, so where are they found? So it's easy. Let's take an assumption that they are found on LinkedIn. It's a very professional networking, website or platform. Okay, so 62 million people are professionals who are Indians. Okay, out of them, the assumption here is 0.6 million of them are mentors who are really seasoned people, 40 plus. They studied a lot, done entrepreneurship. They want to give back. They could be professors, right? So 6 million people are 6 million entrepreneurs and 0.66 mentors. This is the matchmaking that we have to do, and this is the next 5-year plan, and this is a huge business. It will work. So when we present this, right, all our finance numbers should match with this. Hope this is clear. The next one is, of course, this customer persona. We have done, I'm sure all of us have done here a lot. Customer personas, I think this could be the best customer persona we could present. It has goals and frustrations, which are important. It has that image of that persona. So all my entrepreneurs, 6 million entrepreneurs, look like this best spectacle, gentleman who says, I love, eat, breathe, sleep, my startup, and his age is 25 to 35. He lives in some remote, some location. That's fine. His personality is decent. He's quite extrovert, right? He feels more, maybe he thinks more than feels. He goes with his intuition, right? His behavior is more about what perceiving, judging. You can use those sliders, but more importantly, let us look at the goals. One goal is receive investor interest and funding. That's the business that he wants. He's frustrated because lack of connection to mentors and experts, getting an audience with investors. He's not able to get an audience of investors. And then there is this beautiful, biography. There are 3 important things also. His attributes. He's a risk taker. He's self-motivated. He's passionate. Okay. So in a persona, this yellow color box, what you see, I am in love. This is important. This photograph is important. Attributes are important. Goals and frustrations are important, and behavior profile. If we have this, then this is well done. You can just Google and you'll get a lot of personas. I think Invesco is maybe one of the companies which you have to check. They simply create personas. Just log in and they can create it. Okay, so what next? Then let's create the value proposition. We have the customer segment and we have the value map, and we have to match. I'll not get into that. I hope you know. Here, one thing I would stress on is, because this contains a customer segment also, so let the customer speak. Okay, it should come out like this. So the customer here wants to say that I would want easy and convenient access to mentors and experts. So we should encourage all our budding entrepreneurs to phrase their sentences also in this manner. I'll skip this mentor part. Then coming to the solution. So once we are done with the problem, then what's the solution? So 3 ways in which we have presented the solution. One is with that top tagline, maybe access to mentors, content, and connects through an AI enabled platform. Very simple and clear to explain. Then there is this 3 circles, right? One saying, it has this Tinder sort of matchmaking part. It has got a LinkedIn professional community, and there is this booking feature which is there in Airbnb. All the 3 amalgamated, and it's there in Mentor app. So that explains how with the technology it's going to work. And then if there are other things very important like content, one-on-one mentoring, connections, mental development. Okay, so that explains the solution. They don't have to paste a mobile app, or if they're making something else, they don't have to do that, but at least explain properly in a graphical and presentable manner. Yes, this I feel for many of the startups, this could be an extra slide, but we don't mind if they are presenting, benefits of their, solution. So here we definitely have benefits to the entrepreneur and benefits to the mentor. Therefore, we deliberately, put. Then comes the business model canvas, self-evident. You can explain, you can ask them how you're going to make money. So 3% commission on every booking. If they're saying like that, let them do that. Then comes the competition analysis. I think we are very clear. I'll skip that part. Coming to the product, again, stressing, ask everybody to use a tool like Wixsite, right? If they're more advanced, they want to really use a free working app sort of thing, then we have a platform called Glide, GLYDE, right? So what Glide does is you just need to sign up on Glide and open your Google Sheet, create a database of whatever information you want, right? And you open it through Glide. Glide is going to prepare an app for you, and then you can customize. So there are some 15, 20 to 20 minutes, videos available how to use, and it will be a working app. And you can use it for iOS, you can use it for Android, for both, and present it. Next is the validation, right? So ask the questions. So take qualitative feedback. Okay, right. Was it easy to install? Right. How many people initiated chats? Something, collect some useful information. Was the content engaging or not? Right. Was it really laggy? Right. How many of them genuinely, liked the app? Present. So some kind of data. If most of the things are on the higher side, 70+%, it's good. But if most of the things are on a negative side, then it's not good. A lot of improvement is needed. Okay. Now, this 2 graphs alone will not help anybody to understand. We should always have text, some kind of analysis. Okay. So let's say out of 100 entrepreneurs whom we approached, 90 of them gave their feedback. Okay. Out of 50 mentors, 50 of them. Now, this is logical. Mentors are very professional people. So, of course, they did not want to ignore, and they took out time, and they did. Maybe or not all entrepreneurs. Okay. And then you have good and improved version, which you have to present. The mentor is saying UX is user experience is not so good, right? It lacks sometimes and stops working. Fine. So not so bad. We can make it a faster app, and there could be some bad algorithm working or something. We'll figure that out. Next, yes, this is what it is. Very important. So what does it contain the startup. The first one is a startup cost. The story says that these are three entrepreneurs. They decided to invest 10 lakh rupees. 5 lakh rupees is what they had. 5 lakh they took as loan, maybe from somebody, from their parents. It's all an interest-free loan. So that explanation is all there. What happened with this 10 lakh? Okay. The day they got their 10 lakh, 3,35,000, they invested. Okay. And that investment became an asset for their entire life. Okay. What happened with that? They started their company. They registered their business. They invested on product development, website design, website development. And these all things happened because they had to buy some computers also. So this is the cost which is already gone. And right now they are left with what? 6,35,000. That is the capital that they're left with for the rest of the journey as of now. Okay. Now out of that 6,65,000, they are saying that they will invest 2,50,000 rupees to buy some other asset, right? So that they have mentioned. And the remaining 4,15,000 is what for the next 5-6 months they want to use, right, to buy stationery, to pay the rental expenses. Maybe there would be product launch expenses. There could be a marketing cost, go to marketing, all those. So decent enough money, right? What is the importance of this slide and this? Now the importance is, if these numbers are not there, right, it's very hard for them to predict whether they're going to start, right? That is one. Let's assume we don't have a starting operations, which is budgeted 4,15,000. We don't put it. We will never know what will be our future budget. Okay, that is one. So they could have actually started with maybe 6 lakh rupees also. They could have started with 6 lakh, invested 3,35,000, some money they would have left, but that wouldn't have been a better finance. Okay. And that they can only understand if they start putting the numbers in the template sheet. Then they will understand, oh, where to put more. There could be a question, is it the realistic figure? Yes, it has to be realistic figure, right? Even if they are projecting, those numbers should really be right numbers. Those numbers should really make sense. So I think this is clear. Now what next? Let us understand the product. The product is a subscription package of 10 hours. And, this entire package costs 7,000 rupees. Now, how did they arrive at this 7,000 cost? So 1 hour of mentoring is costing them, some 700 rupees. Okay. So the mentor is taking some 400 rupees. There are some coordination charges and all those. So 700 rupees for 1 hour, the mentor, takes. And so for 10 hours, of course, the mentor is going to take 7,000. So let us assume that let's sell it at a little higher price, which is, 10,000, and making a gross margin of 30%, which is self-evident. So first, in the month of January, they planned that they could get 50, units sold, 50 subscriptions, which means 50 startups they're selling, or 50 entrepreneurs they're actually selling who are willing to actually pay 10,000 rupees. So they will have the exact cash sale of 5 lakh rupees. Okay. And it will be, maybe upfront immediately. Okay. So that's what it is. And slowly and gradually they are going to increase. And by the end of the year, they would have sold 3,870 units. Okay. So in this mentor app deck, we have taken an assumption that this 3,870 units are bought by 3,000 entrepreneurs, 3,000 individual entrepreneurs. Okay. So which means that there would be one or two there would be a few entrepreneurs, who would buy, double. But overall, if you actually look at the retention rate would then be, 1.004 or 0.5. Which will essentially lead to 1. Okay. So what does it mean? It means actually that every month they will have to get new customers. Okay. So in the Feb month, if you look at 75, by and large, this 75 is actually all the customers. I think more than 96% of customers are new. More than 96% customers for March, they're actually new. Right. So in the CAC slide, in the unit economics slide, we will actually see it in a much better way. But these are all individual subscriptions which you actually see. Okay. Now, so money that came into us was 3 crore 87 lakhs. Money which went out of the pocket immediately for these units is 1 crore 16 lakh. Why? Because one unit costed 7,000 rupees, and the math is there in front of you. So what are we left with? We are left with a gross profit of 1 crore 16 lakhs. Okay. So sales 3 crore 87 lakh again. COGS, which is cost of goods sold or services, that is 2 crore 70 lakh 90,000. If you subtract, you're going to get 1 crore 16 lakh. Good. But it is not so good. Why? Because with this, every month there are other expenses which are actually fixed expenses. So there are salaries, there's marketing and promotion, right? Electricity cost, rent, all these things are. Okay. Now here is a catch, right? If we look at rent, if you look at salaries, we have seen students, putting 5,000 rupees per month as salary. And I'm really doubtful who's going to come at 5,000 rupees, right? They put a rent of 5,000 rupees and they live in Delhi and they're talking about commercial office. It's impossible, right? So math will do its work, but it will portray a wrong story. That's where we'll have to guide them that no, this is wrong. If you're living in Noida, perhaps 30,000 rupees you'll have to pay a rent maybe for just one room, and that too at very outskirts location. Okay, so use that logic and then only it will work. Okay, so what is the fixed expenses here? The overall fixed expenses at the end, what we get is 33 lakh 74,000. Fixed expenses are also called operational expenses. Right, and this amount we'll have to subtract it from what? 1 crore 16 lakh, and we are left with 82 lakhs 36,000. Good. So we are getting some positive figure, which means that by the end of this entire 1 year, we are going to make some profit, and the profit is 21%. So gross profit is revenue minus sales, right? As simple, which leads to 30% that is there. But net profit is 21% at the end. If we look at individually month-wise, so in Jan month, there was a loss, right? In Feb month, there was again a loss, but yes, the loss got reduced. In March month, they could achieve break-even, because if you look at the net profit, that is 6%. So they should also highlight the fact that within 2 months of starting our venture, if we go in this manner, we will be able to make our money and achieve our break-even, right? This story has to come out. These numbers should really be, aligned. Any doubt up till here? I'm sure it's not. Let's move to the next. Cash flow. You may recall that we started with 10 lakh rupees. We put in 10 lakh. We 3 lakh 35,000. Immediately gone, and then sunk cost we call. And now we are left with 6 lakh 65,000. So these extra, these negative values, how are we able to compensate? Only because we had money. Because we had 6 lakh 65,000 on our bank account, we were able to meet our expenses. So you can see that change in the money, that cash position. So first January month, we are left with 5 lakh 73,000. In Feb month, we start with that amount. Again, we do a decent business. We sold 75 units. We are left with 5 lakh 56,000. March month, it's a 6% net profit. And that's where you see that amount actually increases. And what happens on January 31st? January 31st, we have 86 lakh 51,000 on our bank account. A great shift. Okay. And that's where your balance sheet will then look balanced. A balance sheet will have 2 parts, assets, liabilities. They both need to be, balanced. Okay. And within that also we have current and fixed assets. So current asset, if you look at this, a cash that we have 86 lakh 51,000. Other than that, what is the other cash? The other asset is, if you may recall here, they said that they would invest 2 lakh 50,000 rupees in creating some additional asset. Let's see whether they did or not. Yes, they have done. So if you look at this this cash flow, you'll find that in the month of May, July, September, and November, they actually invested that amount and they bought some computers or something. right? Some kind of equipment, and that started, generating enough revenue for them. Right. So that becomes an asset for them. Therefore, its value will come. And of course, this thing is coming only because they invested 3,35,000 rupees. So 3,35,000 rupees is like mother to them, right? Had she not been there, this child wouldn't have come. So this is very important. So this will always remain an asset, and we'll put it here. And if we add all these things, we'll get us 92,36,000. Similarly, if you look at liabilities, we don't have any current liability. They do have long-term liability, which is 5 lakh rupees. One of the strange things here, when I was doing, right, and Sujata, you can also pitch in, these guys could have actually, spent 5 lakh, given 5 lakh rupees, but they didn't do that because they're a cash-rich kind of, company. See, they have so much of good numbers, but they perhaps didn't want. One logical reason could be when we usually take loans, right? The loan period is also for a little, after a long period of time, sometimes it starts in some loans, in some startup loans. So that could be one reason, but it's their call. So they're rich guys and they can pay. But anyway, so that is their long term, right? And I think this is clear. Then comes the break even. Within that break even, we start with average sales price per unit, which is 10,000 rupees, cost, which is 7,000 rupees, and gross profit margin, which is 30%. And we take the entire fixed cost of the year, the fixed expenses, that is 33,74,000. And then, you divide this whole sale by the contribution, right? You're going to get that amount. And then you divide it by 12, you're going to get 1125, right, which is the break even. Perfect. Next, I am at the last here, right? So what goes into unit economics is the first table is all about per customer, or right, what is the revenue that the customer brings, what is the cost that is incurred from the startup side, what is the gross profit, and what are the operating costs, and what are the operating profit. Okay, that is the first table, very simple. The second table is all about CAC, which is customer acquisition cost. How much money is spent in acquiring that one customer. So we have taken an assumption that we have got some 3,000 customers. Okay, so how much money is acquired to get that one new customer? So that is 378. So how do we do that? Very simple. You take the entire cost of marketing and sales and divide it by the new customer that have been acquired. Okay, and this will happen from here. So if you look at year one, the marketing and promotion cost for year one, just look at that marketing and promotion, that is 5,04,000. And the digital marketing and customer services, which is 9,60,000. If you add both of them, it will be like 14 lakh something, 14,64,000. And if you divide it by 3,870, which is the number of sales that we did, we will arrive at this figure, 378. Okay. Similarly, then we have a little longer calculation for CLV, which is customer lifetime value. So from day one, if a customer is coming, how many times the customer is going to buy till the time the product exists, right, in the market, right? So let's say a new phone is launched, right? How many times I am its customer, maybe, or its version. How many times I actually buy, because it's there for 6-7 years or 8 years, right? And if my contribution is like 4 times, right, that is what the company will actually look at. So that is essentially what is customer lifetime value. And we calculate it is in this manner: average purchase value multiplied by average purchase frequency, right? How many times, multiplied by average customer lifespan, which is usually in years, and multiplied by the entire gross margin. That is the formula that we have applied and we calculated. The third one is ARPU, which is average revenue per unit. Okay, So average, so what was the revenue that we got in 1 year? We got some, I think 3 crore 87 lakhs, right? So that if you divide by what, 3,000 customers, you will actually get 12,900. So per customer is bringing this much to the table. Okay, operating cost is simple, cost of goods sold, right? Plus, operating expenses. That is one. And then operating profit is revenue from all the core operations that we've got, minus COGS, minus operating expenses, depreciation and amortization. In this case, depreciation and amortization, we are actually reduced to 0. How do you calculate churn rate? Number of customers at the beginning. So you may recall that Jan month, we had some 50 customers. And at the end of the period, we have taken an assumption that only 2 customers will go away. So we'll retain 48 customers. Okay, that's where we get a value of 0.96, which is 96%. So this is all here. I think it's too much of math. Shivani ma'am, your question.
Thank you, Amit. Could you please show how this particular venture has calculated CLV?
हाँ, मैं दिखा देता हूँ आपको. So for that, let me just open the Excel sheet. Can you see?
Yes. Yeah.
You can see the Excel sheet, right? Okay, great. So before even I come to that point, I'll take another 1 minute. I'm sure all of you are familiar with this Excel sheet. There are a few changes we did this time, right? We definitely have this instructions table, which is very helpful for us, write the story. It is at least helpful for me, right? What is the cost, right? How much they're investing and all that. Okay. Then we have, you have startup cost. I'm skipping this back of the envelope calculation, right? Next is startup cost, then forecast, cash flow, balance sheet, break even, COGS. Yes, this is a very important thing for all of us to do the entire thing. So here, a lot of math will go. How much money is getting invested in creating that product, in making that product, right? So here some guidance will go from your side. Salaries, yes, I've seen that people ignore simply this, where the salaries section is not even there, but it's very important, right? So we should also encourage them that put some decent numbers here. If you're not taking salary, put a reason why you're not taking salary, and likewise. And this is where money will. It's a very simple, sheet. Yeah, I am coming to this. Then once we have done that, then we have to, this is one very new thing that we have added, which is called sales forecast. Okay. Now sales forecast is very important. If you would have recalled that deck, there was this sales funnel, right? It started with some 6 million entrepreneurs and 0.6 mentors. By the time we had to acquire customers, we had some 6,000 entrepreneurs and 600, mentors. That's what we had. Okay. And that is the number that we will be working for the next 1-2 years, kind of. And then slowly and gradually we'll climb that ladder, that pyramid. Okay. So this is where it is. Okay. So they can actually start putting some rational numbers, what they can actually do. 700, and it totals to, 3,870. If I randomly change the numbers here, everything else will change. If you want, I can even show that. All of you know. Right. Then put a price per unit, right? Put a cost per unit and calculate it here itself. Okay. Once we do this, and then if I go back to my forecast, in the forecast, this is already there. It actually fetches. You don't have to do anything. It will automatically fetch the values. Okay. We have to just link it. So it's already linked. So this is our working sheet. What if we have got more than two products, more than one product, and each of them is of different price? Just copy paste this entire thing and calculate the average. Okay. So individually, what we'll find month on month, the COGS will actually change. It will change for all the for both the products because they're sold also differently. That's the only thing that we will have to keep in mind. Okay. If all of you need, we can also share one more with multiple products also. That could be handy. But so far it is this. Now coming to Shivani madam's question. Okay. So Shivani ma'am, your question was CLV, correct?
Right.
So CLV which we are getting is 4031. Okay, J4. I'll just backtrace. J4 is this, which is the formula which I just spoke about. Okay. So now first one is which is APV, that is average purchase value. So to calculate average purchase value, take the total revenue and divide it by total number of purchases. Okay. So it is the same. 10,000 rupees is what you're going to get at. Okay. And how do you do that? Very simple. B6 divided by B2. So I go to my funding plan. It's very easy. I've created it. B6 kahan pe hai? This is my B6 and I divide it by B2. So I'm going to get 10,000 rupees only. So that is not going to change. Multiplied by APF, which is average purchase frequency. So number of purchases divided by number of unique customers. Ma'am, for all your pots, beautiful pots, you can just try this out. So average number of purchases and number of unique customers, right? So if you go here, it is B2 divided. So unique customers, we have 3,000. Total sales that we had, how many units? 3,870, right? So that's the value that you're going to get. And I don't want to round it off, right? And then we have customer lifespan. A very simple formula to use it is you calculate churn rate and just inverse it. Okay. And churn rate was 1 upon C12. So where is C12? Yes, this is C12. Right. And what is C12? 48 by 50, which I just told. Customers at the beginning minus how many actually left divided by customers at the beginning. So we have taken an assumption here, two assumptions, 3,000 customers total we have. And we've taken that, right, almost all the customers are going to be new for us, right? So therefore, this attrition rate will be very high, maybe for this kind of venture. But we are able to, acquire new customers because it's a very large market. And then when you multiply all these values, you're going to get that. Shivani ma'am, is that clear?
Yes, Amit sir, it's clear. You will be sharing the sheet or it's already on a...
It is there, but I can still share, matlab, to mil hi jayega.
And the one which you're talking about for the multiple products, if
Acha, that I will share there.
please. Thank you.
All the sheets have been plugged in the platform, so all of you can download and use it. And
Yeah.
for multiple products, we can give some sample presentations. You can write to us.
Correct. Very simple. For multiple, I'm telling you something. So you have a product which is COGS is 7,000, the other product COGS is 5,000. Okay. You'll have to just, add the entire thing and, just average it out at the end. Then I have, so this is clear. This is one slide. Then what else? Yeah, I think we are very
somebody
clear.
else has also raised hand.
So please ask questions. Sorry, I'm not able to see.
Subrata Sarna. Shubhosa, is that you?
Yeah.
Shubho, boliye.
So I just wanted to understand one thing. Like if I step back a little bit and if I think about TAMS and SOM, maybe either the SOM or the niche can be the total customer I'm thinking about for the year, and then we can divide it by 12 for the monthly projection. Can it be done for more realistic approach?
Can I take this question, Amit? If you don't...
Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is a very common question, even students would ask. But the logic is, say some student is coming up with hand block t-shirts printing. Now 3,000 t-shirts at the end of the year is what they're projecting. But you cannot just randomly divide it by 12 for the simple reason during festival seasons, probably the sale might be more. during some other occasion, if it's a winter or probably a rainy season, probably they might not look forward for such purchase. So the Shubhosa, the logic is we must train our students to understand the months in which probably the sale might peak up, and in some months it can be dry. So depending on that, the numbers will change. So just divided by 12 might not make meaning.
Okay, got it. But
Yeah.
we can consider that some number or the niche number.
That's a good question.
Yeah. That's exactly what Amit had been telling, you have to.
Right.
I'll also give, thank you, Sujata. I think that this 12 wala part was very good. So, let me explain to you again. I mean, let me take one example, and on all of you, please visualize it. Right. I think in one of the decks also we had. So let's say each of you are owning a company, and that company, you're a part of one business, and you are manufacturing a Fitbit. I'm sure you know Fitbit, you have Fitbits, right? Which starts from 1,000 rupees to 5,000, 10,000, whatever, 5,000 at least. Okay. So there are already existing players, and you have come up with some good features and maybe something best and likewise, right? So how would you like to sell it? How would you estimate the market? So I'll tell you, your TAM is not going to be all people of India or all people of world. Your TAM again will be, let's assume that you're restricting it to India for India, then your entire TAM will be all the people, okay, who will be able to buy and use your product, who could be health enthusiasts primarily, who could be working professionals, let's say, and who could be elderly people, right? And most of the elderly people are, let's say, retired, very elderly, octogenarians and all septuagenarians, so they are all retired, let's assume. So either they have their own savings, or their children are going to gift them or buy for them. Okay, so essentially you can say that a working population from the age of 25 years, right, to an age of 40, 45, 50, you can target that. And all these people who are able to buy that Fitbit, okay, they will be your customers, and they will be your TAM, total addressable market, which will include people residing in Jammu and Kashmir, Kanyakumari, or Arunachal Pradesh. Now coming to SAM. Now all of you are based out of, let's say, Bangalore, and you're a startup, right? You cannot send it to maybe Arunachal Pradesh, and even if you send it there, the internet may not work, and there could be some problem. You cannot provide that services, right? So lot of additional cost is going from your pocket. So what you will say is, let's not focus this market. So whatever regions you're not focusing, right, you have to subtract it from your TAM, and whatever left is your serviceable addressable market. Therefore, that word service is very important. Let's take an assumption. Maybe you're able to serve only 19 states. That's fine. Now look at that 19 states, right? You also have other competitors, a lot of other 20, 30 other, startups and Fitbit companies. They have already captured their market. And do a research and you'll get that maybe 70% is already occupied, right? Can you sell in the 70%? Unless it is a great product, unless it's priced so well, unless it's really very important, right? But in many cases, it doesn't. So therefore, you are left with only 30% of the market. So what you will do is you will take 30% of that entire SAM. Okay, that is one. After that, you can do further calculation, right? You have something called a product adoption curve. I'm sure all of you would have studied. So out of a lot of research, we've got this product adoption curve, which has 5 kinds of buyers. The first buyer is an innovator. Anything that comes in the market, very ardent, will buy. 2.5%. And if you're lucky to get that person, that's well and good. Okay, they could be testers, experimenters, and likewise. But that's not going to scale your business. What you will have to look at is the 13.5% who are your early adopters. Okay, so take that 13.5%, also include this 2.5%, which is 16%. Okay, so the 30% what you got now from your SOM, you can further take 16%. Just be so sure that the number is is that much enough that can give you enough sales, okay, that will be your final song. And go ahead with that number. और उसके बाद भी अगर आपको further if you have to reduce it, then do a niche. You sit in Bangalore and first go out and talk to all the corporate professionals, all the gym centers and everything, and from there you will get the number. So first cater to the entire Bangalore market. Once you have served them well, gotten the feedback, then keep expanding to nearby cities. And so this is called the entire market size. Any question on that? So maybe
Thanks,
we can do.
thanks.
Okay. It is 7:11. I didn't realize. Any other question do we have?
And just to add, Amit, here, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
all of us should be just mindful. This number that we are bringing in the funnel should actually get into the sales funnel. That's the connect that, which is definitely missing in most of the presentations that students are submitting to us.
Correct.
So that becomes very difficult. So when you're talking about the target, when you put a sales funnel, it is about target, lead, prospect, and customer, right? So when you're putting that target should definitely be aligned to the SOM that you're trying to actually tell us. So that's what Amit had been telling us. And, please ensure that all the students are getting these two figures aligned. That's all from my side, Amit. Back to you.
Yeah, I am done. I think let me come to the thank you page. Thank you.
So I think it was useful for all of you. I mean, thank you so much. Shivani, you have a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So can we say that whatever number we are using in SOM should be in line with the sales of 12 months, 1 year sales plan?
Either SOM or you can go further for the niche.
Yes.
You can create a niche also.
And that should match with the sales funnel.
Yeah, the example that I gave in that Bangalore example that I gave, it should match with at least that.
In fact, if you would see the mentor app also, it's very beautifully aligned.
Okay.
And then, tell the student that this they're taking for 1 year, because any planning, we do it for 1 year. So you categorically tell them that this is where we started, but the customer numbers for 1 year is this much. And then ensure that this number gives a direction to set targets for your entire sales team and your activity and all. Now for example, your number might be say only 1,000. But when you're actually doing your sales forecast, it can be, 3,000. It is okay. Somebody can do more than the target that you have kept. It's nothing wrong. So that's exactly what it is. And also one more thing which I would like to tell all of you is everything should not be negative. That's what, Amit was in the beginning only he said, right? Everything, if it's going to go minus 200 and, the business is not at all viable, why are they even doing the business? So how do you tell your student is, tell them to therefore look into increasing the number of the sale. The more the sales, automatically the EBITDA will change, right? So it is actually a realignment. The student will put some numbers and bring, and then we should actually tell them, hey, look, this is all going negative. So you must work on increasing your sale. That's exactly the connection that we are trying to build, because this is only projection for all of you. It's planning sheet, right? It's not the actual. So we request you to help a student to, get to connect from TAM SAMSOM to sales funnel. And then when they do this projection of financial sheet, help them to increase, work on the sales number of units. I'm not even saying customers here, right? Because he said 3,870 units of the mentor, subscription sold. Only 3,000 customers bought it. So what does that mean? It means that somebody could have got 2-3 subscriptions, right?
Yes.
So that's the meaning. So you must help your student to differentiate these thought process. Sales funnel is about customer numbers. When you inbuilt everything into the P&L, it is about units that we are talking. So just be very mindful about simple things, if you correct, everything falls in its place. That's what Amit was trying to explain all of us. So Homeshwar sir, ask us, don't ask us difficult questions. All of you are senior professors here. Please don't ask us difficult questions.
Thank you, ma'am, for the compliment. But first of all, I would like to thank Amit As you mentioned in his introduction, like he has been associated with Vadwani for last 5.5 years, and I would share my proud feeling that we are happy to be associated with Mr. Amit from last 5 years. So thank you, Amit, for the very valuable and insightful sharings. Just something which I am being trying after being trained by the WF. Although the templates, there are some changes, whatever I gone through the trainings, but every time the sales forecast is after the financial template. But even though if it is like in terms of the number of sheets or the order of chronological order, but what I have practiced, we first work upon the sales forecast as the time sum what we talked about, because that tells about the target customers over a span of 12 months or a year, and definitely it works upon the COGS, and that actually it is linked within the sheet, and it is rightly explained by Amit, wherein you calculate the cost and gross profit and net margin, everything falls in line. So we start from the sales forecast, and then we should work upon the financials, wherein we can talk about the fixed and the variable expenses, wherein we can calculate. So the order can be actually changed. What I
wait,
feel.
1 second, 1 second. To realign this discussion, let me just quickly tell you. When you go and look into the booklet that is being plugged in as part of the platform and the videos that we have plugged in there, it says that business plan is made up of 3 components, and we start with sales plan there. So here this is actually a financial sheet. So actually the sheet that you're seeing is a financial template. But when you actually go through the booklet, Homeshwar sir, I'm totally with you. I'm not defending what it is, but to keep the sanctity of a financial sheet, probably the first 3 things of startup cost, P&L, cash flow, balance sheet, break even, and unit economics is finding its place. But thanks for that here, because other faculties should also know. Business planning is always started with sales planning. So we request you to first go to the sales planning. And when you are actually opening up this financial planning sheet also, my request is first fill the startup cost sheet. And after doing it, you tell your student to actually see the cash flow statement, because it is all linked sheets, right? So invested capital minus the startup cost, it will start reflecting as an opening balance of the January month in the cash flow sheet. So you can show them that. And the request to all of you is again, please, as Homeshwar sir said, try to fill the sales forecast sheet there. And then before jumping into the projected P&L account, you must do your COGS first, because cost of goods sold will tell you what is the cost of production of the service. And I would like to reiterate here one more thing. COGS is actually the cost that is included for the output. So direct kharcha, matlab direct expense, whatever has been made for the product itself should be part of the, that's why it's called as variable cost, right? So per unit cost will come. So common sense, because a lot of your engineers here. So per unit cost will come, and operating expenses, whether the product sold or not, you will have to pay salaries. Whether the product sold or not, you will have to run an office, utility, electricity, petrol, blah, blah, blah. That is why it's called as overhead. In your language, whether admission happens or not, students join or not, they have to pay salary for the faculties. They will have to run the lab, maintain the lab. They will have to maintain the library. That is why, managements look at us as overhead, right? So that's exactly what it is. So an entrepreneur will have overhead. That overhead is an operating expense, which is otherwise called as fixed expense. And therefore, first is startup cost, then show them the cash flow, then take them to the sales forecast, then tell your student to do the COGS. Then after doing the COGS, come back to the P&L account, because in P&L, you will try to put the per unit cost, right? So in this example, you would have seen that 10,000 was the Mentor app subscription, which was the selling price. What was the cost price? 7,000. That is exactly why 30% gross margin came. Okay. So please be very sure. Then P&L. Once you fill the P&L, this sheet is anyway linked to the next sheet, which is your cash flow, fund flow. So auto process, you will find the numbers and then help them do the balance sheet. So I think I'm behaving like a teacher now. not a facilitator, but I'm very sorry, but I think this is something which we wanted to, underline. So great to have you all here. And Amit, thanks for again putting it up here. So anything, anywhere, any help you need, you can contact all our regional managers. They're absolutely working with you hand on hand. And if you have anything, we had been connecting with you with FOP. We will again do one more refresher. These are all refresher programs, as we call, we will do more of modules. Today, to start with, we did the mentor app Golden Deck with Amit. We have done the financial sheets. Probably we will again come back one more time to talk to you about the go-to-market strategies, and we will take up modules. You can write to us, whichever modules you feel that you need some refresher, please write to us, and then probably we can definitely organize one for you. Thank you so much.
Sujata, one last thing. I think this is very important, by the way. Thank you so much. 9th, I think we have a master class.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is all, so it has got 2 parts. One part, so anyway, I have covered, uncovered, and you can then further get realigned and more understanding. There's a second part to it, which is like how to get funding, what is
Correct.
valuation. So ask all the tough questions. I think this is going to be a great session. Even I'm going to
Sriram
attend
is the person who is going to come and join us.
Correct.
He's going to talk about financial modeling and funding strategies. So, all students find that this subject, if you have to make them believe it's real, then you will have to talk about finance and funds. Otherwise, it will appear to be more of a theory. So you're all welcome. In all the groups, we keep posting. Please do join these sessions. Tell your students also to join these sessions. I think all the master classes will be helpful for them. Any other questions, anybody else? Oh, that's
before
lovely.
everybody run away, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Everybody
much.
was so
And,
patient with me. Thank you,
before signing
Sujata.
off,
You were
wait. Before signing off, all of you should give one adjective to thank Amit. And then with that, we say bye-bye. And that's exactly what we want to show as a gratitude.
Sujata, madam, thank you for
so
being
much,
here.
It was very enriching experience for me, sir. Amit sir, I'm learning from you, and I hope I keep learning from you. Thank you.
Amit, you can see a lot of things coming.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I will learn from everybody, and together we can make a difference. Thank you, Sujata, ma'am. Bye, everybody. There is somebody talking about police and all, so we will leave. No problem. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sujata, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir and ma'am. It was a great session.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ajay, you can actually close the session.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. I'll do that. Thank you.